Hello, everyone. It's Jeff from midatlanticcraps. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is episode 5 of Dice Tossing Techniques with my good friend Gargoyle. That's him over that way. That's G. G, dip your head down a little bit more so everybody can see you. Welcome to the show, G. How you doing tonight? Oh, I do this every time. I silence G because he's always eating those Oreo cookies in the background, and he just wants me to. I just want to go out and get some. Anyway, G, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Long day, but we're here
Yeah.
to have fun and can't wait.
Well, it is. Can you believe it's episode 5 of this show? We have another show that comes up 2 weeks from tonight. That'll also be episode 5 of So You Think You Know Craps. But tonight's interesting because the description says it's the Gargoyle, which is your original shot, but you're also going to go over a couple other throws with some modifications to them. Is that correct?
Yeah, just how how I modified the grip or the way I toss or something like that. But they're not my tosses. They're just regular tosses, but how I do them differently. But the Gargoyle is mine. Um, been working on it for a couple of years, and I've used it in the casino twice recently, and so I think it's ready for prime time. So definitely we'll be throwing it at the bash.
Well, I'm going to be interested. Don't get offended to me when you first time you throw it there on that harder surface. That I I bet very lightly on you.
Other
Uh,
surface.
yeah,
Did
and
somebody, did
it's
somebody come in?
no,
Did
we just
somebody come in and change my layout?
no, your surface isn't as hard as I don't think the hard rock is. Of course, I've not been to your house. I just watched the dice toss, but well,
Oh, you
well,
meant the Hard Rock? Yeah, yeah. No, no.
yeah,
This
yeah, that's
it's
that. Yeah, that surface is kind of it's hard. I actually
the drop shot.
I like it. Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
like the
the
table with
drop
the hard
shot will be
rock.
on the Hard Rock. The Gargoyle will be on the bouncy surfaces. It's made for bouncy surfaces. So
Yeah, if you say so.
that was my counter move for really bouncy surface.
Yet to be seen. But let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and let's dive right into it. So what do we have coming up first?
Well, first we gotta do the disclaimers and stuff. If I can stand up. Oh, getting old
Sure.
sucks. All right. So sorry, but we gotta do all the disclaimers and the friendly reminders. Um, so for folks that know us, you know the disclaimers for the new viewers, and we've been getting some new viewers. Welcome to the shows. Welcome to the to Jeff's channel. Just want to let you know that there's no clickbait here. We're not gonna ask you for money or anything. As a matter of fact, sometimes we give away money. Um,
Shh, don't
we
tell
do
them
these
everything.
for yeah, we do these for educational purposes. So the toss techniques that I'm demonstrating is some one or two they're my own, but the rest of them are I learned from others, and I'll always give the credit to if we know the person that created it. I'll give the information on the toss, and just use the information that you're going to get today wisely. It takes a lot of practice to I would say master the all these tosses because and when I say master the technique because what a lot of times I show the technique and I tell people the dice is going to go all over the place because my table is not made for that toss, but people want to still see the technique. So I remind everybody that, before I even toss it, I'll remind everybody, hey, the dice is going to go all over the place, but practice the technique because that's what you need. Um, and listen, we know that there are a lot of people have a lot of problems out in the world, and if you think or if you know somebody that has a gambling problem, please either help them or if you're the one that has a problem, 1-800-GAMBLER or ncpggambling.org, get help. We all want to have fun. We all want to be healthy. Being an addict and having a gambling problem is not healthy, and it hurts you and the ones that love you around you. So please, if you're watching this and you think you have a problem, go get help. All right. Tonight we're gonna do the gargoyle. Now I will show you some variations of other tosses first, and I'll leave the gargoyle towards the end. But it's something that I've been working on for at least a couple of years. You can really throw it from any position, but my preferred spot is straight out. It works on any table condition. You have to kind of just work on the trajectory. On a bouncy table, lower the angle. If you're doing it from straight out, toss it a little bit closer to you. On a hard surface, high angle, toss it towards the back wall. It is a 5 finger grip, so you're using all your fingers. And I will tell you the story of how I came up with that grip also. It's a cool story. Um, the influence. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do a single or a break pitch, and I'll explain what a break pitch is here in a little bit. But there, it's not a throw, and pray toss. There's a method and there's an influence on it. What I'm trying to do. Um, from straight out, I usually set the all seven set, and I'm trying to get a single pitch on one die or a break pitch. A break pitch is when um, the the way I'm holding it, and I'll show you in a little, later. The back die will hit the table and go to the right, so it will break pitch and roll on its axis towards the right, and I'm hoping to break the axis to break the sevens. So let's go ahead and do a few tosses. All right.
All right.
So hopefully I'm not frozen. Everybody can see me.
Yep, you're
Cool.
good. You're good.
All right. So we're gonna start with a few basic tosses. Everybody knows the hook shot, right? Um, we talked about it the other day, where people sometimes like to set the sevens, and they either do a drop shot to the hook, or they do kind of a par toss. Sometimes, some people set the hard way, but they throw in that hook across. So sometimes they will set the sevens and pretty much do not a par toss, but an on access toss, right? Now, what if you walk up to the table and that's your shot, and there's people over there, there's a lot of money. Sometimes the layout, goes all the way up and all the way, so there's chips, there's dealers chips and stuff like that, and you have your buddies with you, right? So what I do is sometimes I'll tell a couple of people, and we Mr. Yo 11's here. He may remember. Oh no, he wasn't on the table. It was Georgia Girl and a few others. I asked them to go and take the hook spots, like right here and right here. Just that, keep the chips away from here. And what I do is I throw it into that hook. Same toss, but throwing it into that hook. So I set the sevens, and I come out a little bit on the table like this, and I just raise my arm and drop it right there. So it's a drop shot and that hook. Oh wait, the dice didn't land right. Let me do it right. All right. Now
Stop. Would you stop? That was actually a good shot. Let's not worry about what scattered dice should talk about.
I had to do it. Sorry. So again, you kind of set it just like you're doing a drop shot. And if you're right-handed, by the way, you can do it from here. I don't know if the camera is on that angle, in the corner, but you can do it over there.
I saw him going to the corner of the stack.
Yeah. So again, it's just a variation. I didn't come up with that. That's the regular drop shot in the hook. The only thing I did was I modified it to where you can come up here and you can set the dice flat or at a slight angle. It doesn't matter. Whatever you think you can do to kind of get you. Now you have to be careful because if you gotta practice it, because if you short it, it's gonna hit the mirror, or if you don't throw it into the hook, you'll throw it straight out, and at that point, it's not a hook shot, right? Um, you can do it right-handed from stick right, so and do kind of a underhand drop shot. I kind of showed you guys, folks, viewers, um, preferred subscribers. I showed you the drop shot, so you can do it that way. But now people say, well, I don't understand. Why are you doing this? Just throw it over there. Again, if there's a lot of chips and stuff like that, and you have your friends with you and they can cover this area, they can make sure there are no chips here. And then you can just do this all day and then drop it here. So that's one variation of tosses that I wanted to show you. The other variation is the underhand toss. So if you remember when we did the underhand toss, um, I showed you that you could do it skinny like this, or you can come in and do a diagonal grip
Let me
and
zoom
stuff
in
like
on
that.
that.
What?
Let me zoom in on that shot
Yeah,
there, G.
yeah.
On your
Zoom in. Sorry.
okay.
It's the first episode, and
There
it
you
got
go.
a lot of good reactions. But you can either go skinny, right, like this, and then just put it down and then do the drop shot, or you can go diagonal like that. Howard calls it diagonal. I agree. People call it Yuri grip. I don't know, but it's on the diagonal. So, but what I do is I use the different variation is I use the all the fingers, 4 fingers, and I come kind of like this, like a claw, and I pick him up from the very top edges. Now it takes a lot of practice to do this, but you see where they are, like
Yes.
literally at the top edges, and they're barely holding. I mean, this one is about to fall. Well, it just fell. So
It did
you
fall.
gotta get rid of them quick. Now the reason why I do that is because my hands sweat a lot, and keep it here because I'm gonna pick it up again. My hands sweat a lot, so I try to put as less skin as possible. Um, so you come in and you pick it up. Now you can zoom out if you want, and then you just kind of go like this. You put your 2 fingers, rest your 2 knuckles down, and then you just throw it.
It's a pretty toss. Nice together.
All right, that's better.
Stop. We agreed not to do that tonight.
All right, last one. Um, the other variation of it is you can come down a little bit on if, and and this one takes a lot of practice to grip, but it literally puts very very little skin on the dice. Instead of on the top edges, come down to like the middle of the dice. So if you can zoom in, Jeff,
I did.
see where I am.
Yep.
So the dice will still hold because all you're doing is you're resting these 2 knuckles right here, like that, like this, and you're pushing forward and opening your arm, your hand. So when you hold it, you go like this, and then you just
It wouldn't switch fast enough.
all right.
All right.
That's all right. I'll do it again. So you come down, and you can do it here. You can do it here. I like to do it here, and then you just pretty much like a drop shot. Like an underhand shot. Now, I Jeff will tell you I like to do everything live. I don't like pre-recorded. But you take it for the bank. I was practicing the other day and I threw 45 roller with this shot. Then I went, took a break, came down and threw another 30 roller. You know, we'll talk about this and in a couple of weeks. To thy own self be true. But and when we did the shows the other day, I noticed we were doing something wrong. I just didn't know what. And then Ed and I got on a practice session, and I threw it. And then I said, Ed, help me out. So we started doing it. And what I noticed was I had my knuckle like this instead of like that.
Hold on one
So I
second.
was holding
Let me
it.
zoom.
I was doing it on one knuckle like that, and my hand was going like this. So now with two knuckles, then it's always straight. And Ed noticed that, and he's like, "Hey, your hand is moving." I'm like, "It's not supposed to." And I finally figured out because I wasn't pushing down on my knuckles to do this stuff. All right. I gotta take a sip of coffee real quick.
What? It's not coffee break. It's not time yet. For those of you that are just joining in, welcome to the show. This is episode 5 of Dice Tossing Techniques with my good friend Gargoyle. That's G. We're going over the Gargoyle and several other shots today. Coming up later in the show, G's going to show us the jackets he's going to be giving away at the end of the year. We're taking 5 entries of the show tonight and also in a couple of weeks on So You Think You Know Craps, as well as we'll have a $50 gift card for somebody to win tonight with a chance to double it up to $100 by making a small pledge. The Craps for the Cure coming up September, I believe it's 13th. If John's here, punch the dates in the chat there, John, and I'll display them. All right, G, continue.
All right. We all know what the unaccessed toss is, and sometime this year, I'll do the unaccessed toss. The unaccessed toss is the par toss, but par is what Golden Touch and everybody else came with. It's the swish and flick. Heavy, called it unaccessed because it's from the deck, right? It's from here. So the par toss, you kind of like roll the dice, and the dice rolls. Let me get the big guns. The dice rolls like this.
Hold on, let me
Yeah.
zoom in on you. Wait, put that down just a little bit lower, G, where your dice
No, no,
cam
no.
is.
They can see it. They can see it on the big one right here.
Okay,
Because I got
all
the
right.
big dice. So the dice, on access or par toss, the dice goes like this, right? They're spinning towards you, not forward but backwards. All right. So I Bo showed me how to do it right-handed, and then Howard was really the one that helped me perfect it, where you can do the diagonal, and it still spins like that. But the problem with all these with the grip on these tosses is that you push with your thumb, the dice is going to separate. So one day I was trying to figure out what's the best way to toss this where the dice will spin the same way, but the dice will leave flat on your finger. And the only way I came up with is if you grab it like you're grabbing, the stacked variation, and you put it like this, and then you throw it really low. I'll do it again.
Do it again, Sam.
Do it again, Sam. So you stack the dice. Now they will separate a little bit in the air, but I want them to because I don't want the kiss of death. and then you throw it. Now you can on a neutral table you can throw it high. All you got to do is raise your hand a little bit higher. Now I'm not flicking the dice, okay? I'm literally using my wrist, my whole wrist and hand. And I got a surprise here in a second for you. It's it's a premiere, I guess you can say. So I come here and I use my hand and wrist. So if I want to throw it high, I just go higher, like that. See, they kissed. That wasn't scattered. I don't know if you saw it or not, but this
Yeah,
die.
yeah, we had a discussion about scattering dice and when they kiss
Yeah.
off one another versus when they truly do scatter off the back wall without hitting each other.
So I have a surprise for you. So I took my phone and I started playing with slow mo. Now I'm looking for a camera to do slow mo live. Again, I don't like to do anything recorded, and there are a lot of cameras that you can record and then do slow motion record and then preview. The cameras that you can actually do live slow mo, and Jeff, you know, I don't buy cheap. They're anywhere between $700 to $1,200, and I don't want to spend the money. I may not, I don't know, but I took my cell phone and I've never done slow mo, and I've just said I'll play around with it. The first one didn't come out good because I threw it low and you couldn't see the dice really well. The second one, the dice came right at you, and then you couldn't see anything. So what I did was I threw it at a slight angle. So the dice, I threw the dice like this instead of like that. Okay, and the phone was here, but you can clearly see there's a slight separation, but that you can clearly see that the dice stay on air. I'm sorry, on access in the air. And no, this wasn't like the 50-second attempt. This was like, you know, the first attempt. Again, everything I do here is you know, good, bad, or ugly is live, and I'm hoping at some point I get one of those slow mo. I'll have to replace one of these cameras because OBS will only take four for, or the computer will only take four for the USB. So, but let's go look at it, and I'll run it a few times. Hopefully this works. Um, I'm hoping it works. So they separate a little bit at the end, but you get to see the side view. Now, on my phone or on my computer, you can literally see the numbers. Let me do it again one more time. So when people say dice don't stay on access, I disagree with them that in the air all the way until they hit the table, and even after they hit the table going towards the back wall, you can keep the dice on access. The the good shooter, the DI, will strive to keep them on access after they come off the back wall. So I hope that was visible to some folks, but again, you know, it's the stack toss, and you put them right here, and then and you have to. I haven't been talking about stance because, you know, we've talked about stance for, you know, on how to do these shots, but you know, for this one, you literally have to kind of like come up and have your whole body shoulder right here, so that whenever you toss it, it's really going straight. And I mean, you heard it. It's like right here, 6 forward. So, man, you know the story about the gnomes that come with the shoemaker that they come in and make the shoe at night,
Yes.
the shoe at night. You know
Gnomes.
that fairy
Go
tale.
ahead. Yes.
I need to thank the gnomes that came in and redid my layout where it's not bouncy anymore.
All right. Gee, what's next?
What's next? Do we have any questions or comments so far?
No, I actually haven't put. I got comments, but I don't have any questions yet because I haven't asked for questions. I haven't called for the questions yet. So let me switch over to my
Okay.
queue and let's see here. Lazy Dog says different finger lengths could make that a hard hold. I think that's earlier, G, when you were showing the actual gripping of the dice. It was
Yeah,
about 8 minutes ago when he
yeah,
sent that in there. So any comments on
yeah,
that?
yeah. I mean, if you have long fingers, that's gonna be it's gonna be difficult. But I I actually can do it with my left hand and literally throw it on access. I can roll it like I did just now, where it just rolls, or I can do the part whatever the up high. If I do the up high, it will look something like this. So you can, if you can figure out the grip, and you have a problem with the dice sticking, it will really help. Now, I will tell you, do not attempt to do it further from stick one, not even stick two, because at that point, I mean, if I do it from here, you really gotta get the dice all the way down, and I think you lose the influence. It's not like the regular hold for the underhand toss where you still have some influence. Um, it's just my opinion that if I do it from here, I'm going to lose some of the influence. I mean, that was a good toss, but I don't like the way this dice bound. Um, and it's true in any toss
Anthony
you
has
use. The further you go from the back wall.
Anthony has a
Um,
question up there for you.
I'm using 6431. That's what I'm using tonight for some of these. And when I change it, I'll let you know. But for a lot of these, I'm using. Oh, sorry. Six. Well, facing me is the four, and then three facing me is the one. I like that's the set I like for a lot. I use a lot. I love that set. Howard put me on to that set.
Yeah, but if you look at the set that you have there, you said 6431. Never mind. Go ahead. Carry on.
Six
You're the expert.
6 4 right here
Yep. Three
facing
one.
me.
Yep.
3 1 facing me. So if you flip it, okay, here it is to the
But
viewers.
didn't you
Six
say you
four
were the king of
double pitching.
double? I thought you were king of the single.
No, I am the king of double pitching. I hold the crown. I can. That's why. That's why I use the all seven set a lot because I get hard ways on some of
Okay.
these tosses. But I am the king of double pitching. Ed and I were playing around there, like I said, the other night, and I was throwing this set, and I was getting 4-1-5, 4-1-5, 4-1-5. And he's like, if you throw this at the bash, I'm hopping the fives on you. I said, well, that's not a bad idea. I hit a lot of hard ways with it too, also. All right, let's see. How are we doing on time?
We're right on time. You got about another 10 or 15 minutes before we actually need to start talking about a few other things. It's a good demonstration so far. I will
All
put
right.
this up here for the fine folks that if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat now. Please use a capital Q and a semicolon or a colon, and then put your question. It's easier for me to find. Plus, it changes color on the screen, which makes it real simple for me. So, if you have a question for G about any of these dice tosses, anything he's covered tonight, put a capital Q. If you have a question about anything else that we might be getting ready to talk about, such as the jackets, the Brownwater bash, so you think you know craps, we'll answer all questions.
Um, let's talk about the gargle. So let's start with the grip. So the grip is a four-finger grip, but it's different than anything you've seen. The reason why I say that is because I don't know what I was doing on the table one day. That was before I got this layout, but I had already gotten my logo, and I was looking at the logo, and I noticed how I don't have it. Well, let me see. Let me switch to this one. Maybe you'll see it better. Notice how the gargoyle's fingers are like separated, and they're like in a knuckle. Do you see that?
Well, no. What we see now is Dolly looking at you and your butt. We don't want to see that.
Okay. No, no,
Dolly's
no. I
okay.
mean, so look. Oh, I was pointing with the mouse, so you can't see the mouse.
Yeah, I
So
know.
look,
Yep.
look up
Over. Yeah.
here at the gargoyle,
Yep.
and you can see he's doing like a knuckle thing, right? Like this.
So,
So I said to myself, that would be a
so you're
cool.
talking about right here, G. Oops. You're talking. Oops. Get rid of that one
Yeah, a little
too.
bit more to the right.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it off there. Right here. Oops.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. So so I was like, that would be a cool, grip for a toss. So I started playing with the dice, and I came up, and I'm gonna use the all seven. I'm gonna use 6 4 1 3. So after a lot of trial and error, I got a grip to where I can grip the dice with that knuckle. And basically, what I do is I go down as if I'm doing. If you want to zoom in, please, Jeff,
1 second.
on this cam.
Yep.
So I go down as if I'm picking up the dice as the diagonal toss. But then I put my thumb and middle finger, and I split the dice with my index and pinky, and then I hold the other two on the points. So it looks like this. So it's a knuckle hold. Let me do it again. So
And this is for the gargoyle.
this is for the gargle.
Okay.
Again, I come down and I use the thumb and this finger, and I hold the dice like this. Okay? Then I get my index and my pinky on the edges like that, and I push with my thumb while releasing, and I go like this. So that's the hold.
Oh, let
So
me zoom back in. Yeah, I see it now.
so you can see right here, edge, edge.
Yeah. Looks a bit
I don't know
awkward. It
where
would take a lot of practice to be able to do that.
it takes a lot of practice, but I can do it in like, once I set the dice, I can go and got it. Now, I use this from straight out. And I know we don't have the zoom on straight out, so I'll I'll make believe that this is straight out. Okay? So if you want to zoom again, please, Jeff. The way I set the dice on the table after I pick it up is I put it like this. Okay, so this is like flat, not flat, but at an angle, and this is up high. So it's like this. So this dice right here is on the table, and this dice is high in the air. And what I do,
that would be
what I
awkward
do
for
is
me.
I flip them like that. So this die will go one way, and this die will go another way to break the 7. And I throw him somewhere from straight out. I throw him somewhere on this area. Now I'm gonna throw it from here over there, and then I'll go throw it in there for you to see the landing. But I want to show you the toss from here because I know there's a camera on here. So 6-4-1-3. Pick it up, and I set it, and now let me. And usually, I get a lot of field numbers on this. Sometimes more than box numbers. So with the set that I'm using, which is the 6-4-1-3, and the bouncier the table, for me, the bouncier the table, the better. So I'm gonna set it. So that's a 6-5. So I get a lot of field numbers, and sometimes extremes. So let me set it from here one more time, then I'll go back over there. So 6-4. Can you still hear me, Jeff, from here all the way?
Yep. No. Yeah, we're good. We're good on the audio.
All right. So do like this. That's aces. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll bring it with the stick. So again, I get a lot of oops, I just flipped it to a 6-4.
That's okay.
But
I
there was
saw it.
aces. Now let me go over there. Now that's not supposed to be a pretty toss. It's meant to break the 7. It's meant to go cattywampus. And on a bouncy table, I can even throw it lower. I can even make it a rolling shot to where the dice will just roll if I want to. If I want to go like this, I can go like that. But you can see the dice will go all over the place on a rolling shot. So, but it was
Looks
a hard
like you're
four.
landing. Looks like from straight out you're landing them in the prop area there, and that would really piss off the box person.
No. That was a rolling toss. That I was demonstrating that if you toss it too low, the dice is
Okay.
going to roll on the table.
Okay.
That's why you have to toss it a little bit higher and land it here. So if you throw it low, the dice are going to roll, and they'll roll all over the chips and everything else. So you need to throw it.
From straight out, you're trying to land right about there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if you do it. Yep, you were close. You hit right about here on that one.
Yeah.
You were close.
Yeah. I mean,
you were close.
Close enough. Now, I'm not a big fan of throwing it from closer to the back wall because first of all, if I do it, I'm not going to do it in all 7. I'll do a hard way set or a 6-4-3-1 because um, because of the way I'm tossing it, there's not enough time for me to do my hand gesture and get the dice in the air. It's better if I do it from here or from here. And it's the same principle. Like if I do it from here, I just go like this, and I'm looking straight out. and I'll do 6413. And it's a 6-4. Again, I tend to hit a lot of field numbers. However, if it's from here, if I have this spot, I'd rather do the drop shot or something else, because if I do it from here, and I'll show you, I just don't have time for the motion, the hand motion, the after, the follow through, and the dice for to land. It'll land too hard and it'll go. It just won't work. It'll just go all over the place. You know, this one hit right here on the bottom and died. Of course, as I said, it'll go all over the place. But you can pay me $1,000 and I can't do that again. I wish if I didn't do that every time, I wouldn't be sitting here tonight. I'll be at the casino. But for the most part, you know, when you do it, it will hit right here. If you hit it high, and it's gonna hit the wall hard. And I don't. If I have that spot, I'd rather do a different toss. But most of the time, I walk up and it's you know, straight out is available. I just go straight out and do it because I love to throw it from there. But this is the Gargoyle. I've been playing with a variation of it. It's kind of the same thought process, but with the cross sixes. But instead of so 6-4, 6-5, and where's the 6? Right here. So you put 6-4, 6-5, and what I do is I bring one down like this, and then I these two fingers and thumb come right here. This finger comes here. This finger comes here, and the thumb is holding the dice, both of them. And I go like this, and I go over. So it would look something like that. It's not casino ready, but I've been playing around with it. So it looks something like this. So 6-4, 6-5, come down on two fingers. So it looks something like that. I don't know if you want to zoom in, Jeff?
Give me 1 second.
And the way and then you put it like this. So this die is above that die. Now, remember I talked about single pitch, or, you know, when you do this, see how this die starts to go at an angle? I'm just trying to influence this die right here. This die right here. I'm trying to kind of get it to go and stay on axis. And this guy can go all over the place. And usually when they land, this guy will hit and go to the right. So if I do it 6-4, 6-5, see, the 6 went over there, and this one split.
All right.
My hands are. It's still kind of like a work in progress, but hands are sweaty. I'm gonna do it one more time just to show them.
All right.
It's not casino ready, so you won't see me do it at the casino, but it's kind of like that.
All right, while you're demonstrating, it's now time to enter in the password for 5 entries in the G's Jacket giveaway. The jacket he's going to show in just a few minutes as soon as he gets done here. So as he throws a couple more of these, the password is G's Jacket. The letter G, the letter S, as in G's, GS, jacket. And we'll be giving that away in just a little bit. All right, G, let me zoom back in on you. A couple more demonstrations.
So how many people do we have watching?
61.
Nice. How many likes do we have?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that stuff. 28.
Oh, the likes are low. All right. If you guys want to see a toss that I'm working on, I started like about 4 months ago. It's a work in progress. You need to add the likes because that's how we keep the channel. That's how Jeff keeps the channel. I'm just a guess. I apologize. And I don't know. Is John from ProCraps watching
He
or
was
just
watching.
listening?
If he's watching, he's watching. But if he's listening. G. But yes, he was with us. I don't know if he's still
Yeah.
here or
Well,
not.
no, because he tells me he loves to see that hat right there. So I was going to point to it because he loves to see that hat. Um, while we're getting some of the likes up, let me show you the jackets. So for those of you who've seen them, you've seen them. For those of you who haven't seen them, we're giving away a certain number of jackets, and there's only going to be a certain number. It's not going to be a whole lot of them. They are Port Authority. They have a fleece inside. They're weatherproof. Um, the logo is stitched. Really, really cool logo on here. I mean, top-notch material. Uh, and this is for the gentlemen. For the ladies, we have a different color, and a lot of people love that color, on the ladies' jacket because it gives it a certain je ne sais quoi. But again, as you can see on the red, the logo really really shines, and it's stitched. It's not ironed on.
All right. That
So
jacket's.
we're gonna take names, and we'll draw in December. Um, and who knows? I may put some names on for the Crafts of the Cure. Also, donate a few, but there's only gonna be a certain number. So not more than 24. I think 24 will be the last number. So,
Oh my gosh, it was just 6 or 8 last week. You've gotten to 24. Oh, you mean total jackets that you've given away to other people? I
so
see what you're saying.
already
I got you. I
the
got you.
the G crew already got like I got two, one for me, one for
Well,
my wife,
what I
and the
want to know is
G
you
crew
keep
got
talking
six
about
or
this.
eight already.
You keep talking about this G crew. What about the Ed and Jeff crew? What do you think, Ed?
Well, I would say put your names in the drawing.
I'm gonna enter it right now. We got John is here, by the way. G. Just so you
Yeah,
know, that jacket is pretty expensive with shipping and all. He's gonna have over $200 shipping that out to you. We're taking 5 names each
but
show, 10 names a month for the jackets. Giving away 6 or 8 of them in December.
it's about $250 cost after
Yeah.
it's all said and done. But that's okay because you know me, I don't do anything halfway. And I think it'll be good, especially because they're not gonna. It's just a certain amount of jackets, and we're not gonna do any more. So before I sit down, grab a chair, sit down. You know what? Let me show the viewers. Even if the likes are not up, let me show the viewers. So it's a work in progress. And by the way, it's an opinion, right? Some people may look at the Gargoyle and some of my tosses and say, "What a piece of crap." That's your opinion. You're free. Others may look and say, "Oh, that looks pretty cool." Um,
Not worried about
I,
that.
I, I, I throw what I think I can make money off on the craps table. So while your opinion is your opinion, you know, what I'm not going to say because I don't want to go back and edit it later. No, I think, yeah, you think you wear a large or you actually wear a large? Are you talking about your head or your jacket size, Ed?
All right.
All right.
I wear a 3X. That's all I got to tell you. I wear a
That's all I got
3X,
to
and
tell you.
I also look very good
So,
in a cruise ship prize as well. So if you're giving away some cruises, I look good in a 7-day cruise. Anyway, go ahead, G.
you'll have to put me down like Mr. T if you're gonna get me on a boat. You will never see you'll never see this
Ah,
guy on a
You're going to
cruise
make me
ship.
do my Mr. T impression. Go ahead.
I pity the fool. All right. So, we talked about the chopper and the way you throw the chopper toss. It's a high toss, but you have to kind of do your wrist to kind of keep the dice flat and stuff like that. So I was thinking, is there a different way to do it to where the momentum will get it there, but the dice will land flat? And this is no joke. Um, I was moving my Legos several months ago to put room for another slot machine, and the stand that had the several of the Legos, including the helicopter, it tilted. And I know somebody's gonna say, "What a joke!" I can't believe he got that from that story. But anyway, the Lego helicopter that I have fell, and it landed upside down, and it broke some pieces. And I was more worried about putting the pieces together, even though I have the catalog. I just hate to put pieces because you don't know what fits where. You're not following the book. Now you have to figure out what piece fell. Long story short, I was putting it, and I'm like, I wonder if I can hold the dice upside down and do the same toss. Well, apparently, I can. So I'm going to show you what I'm working on. So it's the 4-finger grip, and you hold the dice like this, and you throw it up in the air and let the momentum take it. And a few times, now they land separate, but a lot of times they just land flat and die. The first time I threw it, the dice landed here and died. I didn't even reach the back wall. So I knew I had to throw them further. But again, this is not, you won't see me do this at the casino. This is something I'm playing around with. But basically, you take it, put it like this, and you flip it up in the air. Now, you can, with your hand motion, your wrist motion, you can send it to the corner, straight, or this corner. Like if I want it to go straight, I will just lean up a little bit on it. And with my wrist motion, I just go like this. But as it lands, it will go in. And notice I got a 7 and I got a 7. You know why? Because I'm setting the hard ways. I am the king of double pitching. I'm setting the hard ways and I'm getting 7s. One last time, because it's very uncomfortable. But it's a work in progress. And let the peanut gallery jokes begin. But I don't care. So one last time, you go up into the corner. Oh, look, wait, we got a hard 10. It's not a 7. Anyway, sometimes I just come up with tosses. Next month, I'll talk a little bit about Howard and how he opened my eyes to certain things and how I'm always trying to come up with something.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're going to talk about the show in a second.
Oh, I ruined it.
That's okay. No, I think it's time. It says because we got to get more passwords in for the next prize we're going to give away. I think it's time to give your jacket away. So you need to get your paper and pencil down.
It's time already to do the drawing?
Yes, it is.
Oh, holy crap. We've been talking for an hour. All right, hang on. Let me get my pencil.
That's why the producer tries to keep you moving along. All right, so let's go ahead and draw these, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put in the password for the $50 gift card with a chance for you to double it up by making a small pledge to the MAC Charity Fund for the Craps for the Cure coming up. I believe John put the 12th through the 14th or 15th, but it's around the September 13th, whatever that weekend falls on. And it happens to be his birthday, and I'm going to put a comment up here to John put because you'll see it here in just a second. We'll get to that first. Let's go ahead and give away the prize for G's jacket. Last call for G's jacket, and it's just like this. Yeah, I said it's just like this. There we go. GSJACKET, G's Jacket, and you have to have that in a chat with nothing else, no spaces, no punctuation. Doesn't matter whether it's capitalized or it's small. It just has to have letter GSJACKET, G's Jacket. We've got currently 62 people watching. We've got 38 entries. Going to wait for about another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to draw it G's Jacket as they continue to talk about. Everybody wants those jackets, G. They're putting sizes in there and colors and all kinds of things in the chat. So, and I do have a couple questions going back to some of the things you said, so make sure you plan for that for our time that we have left. We've probably got about another 20 minutes left in the show. So, I'm going to count down in 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to draw it. I don't see any more entries coming in. I see a couple people repeating it. You only can enter it in one time. It only take it one time. So here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Vegas Day Tripper is the first one. You have his phone number, so you know how to get to him. That's the first one. We're going to roll 4 more times. That's the first one. The second one is 3, 2, 1. Larry Airborne Aces. That's nice. Larry L. Just put Larry L. And here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Joe Crapsmaster Journey has won an entry, so now we can use the hashtag Joe May Win. Used to be Joe Never Wins. So Joe is qualified for the jacket. Let's go ahead and go 3, 2, and 1. Blazer. That's Blazer. I think I remember his name, but G, catch me offline. Well, I think I'm pretty sure I met Blazer
so he should win one.
in Vegas one time when I was out there with the Blue Wrench crew. What'd you say, G?
He should win one because Blazer needs a jacket. Get it, Blazer?
Oh my God, yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Yes, Blazer, you're qualified. You haven't won. You're qualified. 3, 2, and 1 for number 5. Swerve, who I believe qualified in another show. Swerve Stevenson, that's going to be the 5th winner or the 5th qualifier for the jacket. Now, you guys haven't won that jacket, but you.
I'm glad we got 3 ladies last time.
Yeah, you're right. We did get a lot of ladies last time.
Yep.
So I'm going to put up the next password for the gift card, which some of you kind of saw it. That's the gift card password. Don't start entering that yet. I got ahead of myself. I didn't realize I had the live button set. Let's see here. Let's go here. Don't put Brownwater Bash in there, but that is going to be the next password. Don't put it in there yet, guys. I don't have it in there yet. All right, now you can start typing Brownwater Bash all you want. Okay, so that's going to be the next password, Brownwater Bash, and what that is for is, as you know, for if you've been around long enough, you know that we have the Brownwater Bash coming up next weekend. Not this weekend, weekend after next, the 16th through the 18th. Brownwater Bash number 3 with Ed from Roll to Win. It's his 3rd meetup there in Biloxi, Mississippi. It's going to be centered around the Hard Rock. You don't have to have a host. You just need to use your hostess with the mostest wherever you may have points, and you can stay anywhere you want and just come and see us at the Hard Rock. I think Ed did put in earlier. He did put in. Let's see here. What did Ed say earlier? Ed said that he was ready for the Brownwater Bash, and he also said Saturday at 2 p.m. is the meetup at the VIP Lounge. Now, that VIP Lounge is only going to hold a few people, and as Ed said, the drinks will be on them as long as you're tipping the bartender that's in there. So make sure you get there early enough to get into the VIP Lounge. Ed and I are kind of questionable about how many we're going to have. He's thinking 50-ish overall course of the 3 days. I'm thinking 75, 80 maybe, based upon what I've seen, people coming in and going out that weekend. So far, there's 11 of the AC crew that are coming down. We're going to have, if John comes, John put in the chat that he was going to try to come. If he comes, that's the 10th YouTuber that will make an appearance during the Brownwater Bash during that week. So come down, have a good time. G's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Ed's going to be there. A lot of other people are going to be there. We have people in the chat saying they're going to be there.
And Sunday morning, a reminder, Sunday morning, 7 a.m., if you're going to be at the bash, be at the Hard Rock craps tables, around there, not at the table, but around the Hard Rock craps tables at 7 a.m. Sunday morning for a surprise.
Well, you say it's a
Not a
surprise.
giveaway.
Well,
It's not a jacket. It's not a giveaway. It's not money. But I believe a lot of people will like it.
well, I know what I'm going to be doing at that time, and if things go
You're
bad,
gonna
I'll
miss out.
mosey over to you if things go bad.
You're
So
going.
we
You need to be there. Oh wait, no. You don't need to be there because you don't. Never mind. I'm.
You see, you almost said something you didn't need to. All right, guys, you
Yeah.
should be putting this word in here now. Brownwater Bash. It's going to get a chance to win a $50 gift card, a chance to double it up to $100 just by simply making a 10% pledge of your winnings towards the MAC charity fund for the Craps for the Cure. And I messed that up. I bet I didn't. I bet I cleared. Oh, here it is. I still have it. John says it's going to be September 12th through the 14th in Atlantic City, and I understand it's going to center around one of the station's casinos. John, if you're here, you can pop that in there if you know exactly which one it was. I caught one of your shows last week where it said which one it was
Oh
going to be
God.
around. Yep. We got a
Oh
couple
man.
questions here, G, or a
Now
couple.
I have that picture in my head. Thanks, John.
Anyway, let's move on. G, here's a question for you. What is the success rate with the Gargoyle toss?
Um, I'm 2 for 2. I just started using it in the casino. I'm 2 for 2. I had to make sure that it's not something that's lucky. I'm getting lucky on here on my table, and I had to figure out how to make the variation and make the move because you've heard me say it a lot. If you can't transfer what you practice on your table to the casino for success, then something's wrong. Either you don't know how to transfer, or you're doing something wrong, right? So I had to make sure that I'm transferring my success. So I tried it at Harris and I tried it at Murphy, and I'm 2 for 2. That's not
All right.
saying much, right?
All
But
right.
I was gonna put my real money on there for something that I wasn't sure that it's gonna do something. I needed to be sure.
All right. Mark wants to know if Dolly's going to be in Biloxi. Now, that's a joke. That's a joke question. That's not a serious question.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I
this
can wrap her
this
up and put her in the bag.
this
She
may
won't
be
like it.
a condescending or sarcastic question because I'm not sure what Dustin means. He wanted to know when you were throwing that underhanded toss, is it underhanded double squeegee? But really, I think his question really comes with this: forespin or backspin on that toss, G.
Uh, the gargoyle
Yeah.
the gargoyle is forward spin.
All right. As I bounce back through the questions here, here's a sarcastic one from Anthony. I'll let you read this one and then you can answer it.
From the line. I don't think there's going to be a conga line, and if you bring a falafel sandwich with you from New York City, by the time it gets to me, it's going to be a falafel soup,
All
not a
right,
sandwich.
guys.
So
If you have any other questions for G on tonight's topics, put that in there while I go ahead and run out a couple more of these things we need to talk about. Coming up 2 weeks from tonight, it's So You Think You Know Craps. It's actually gonna be episode 5. That slide should say episode 5, just Jeff's behind on what he needs to be doing. G, do we know what we're going to be talking about on that show?
yes, we're going to cover a little bit. It's not a trip report, but we're going to cover a little bit of what happened or what will happen. If anything cool, bad, or ugly happens at the bash.
Well,
Not a trip
that's
report, but something
yep.
something like somebody did something
That's going to be scheduled
anonymous.
for the 20th of May, and I kind of thought that we were going to have. I was going to try to do a trip report with a few of the people that were down there. You, me, Ed, Mr. Yo,
And a few people before that, right? Before that,
Waylon, and a couple of the other ones to come on there and see if we can't, talk about
yeah.
good, bad, and the ugly during that. And with my goes in is that I better not say what I'm going to say. I better not say. I'll stick my foot in my mouth.
Well, yeah, but for the show, if I see something that I should talk about, I will. But the show itself is going to be, the context is around the title "To Thine Own Self Be True,"
Okay.
and we'll talk about what that means.
So now you can talk about next month's what Howard taught you with the shots for a month from today
Yeah.
for Dice Tossing Techniques, episode 6.
Yeah. So next month, can't believe, but it's gonna be the 1 year anniversary of us losing Howard. He passed on June 4th. And so next month is going to be dedicated to Howard's dice magic for the dice tossing technique. And then for the show, I'll talk about some of the conversations he and I had traveling in the car. Going to going to the desert, looking at the canyons, and just talking about life. And he he opened my eyes on a lot of stuff at the craps table, and I'm a better man today for the time I spent with Howard. So I really miss him. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I wasn't going to interrupt you because I saw you getting a little emotional. I know he's a good friend of yours.
I spent a lot of time with him. There was a period where he and I were just hitting the casinos in Vegas. I was between contracts, and for 6 months he had the condo, and I would just go from one hotel to the other, fly back over to the house, and turn around, fly back up there, and you learn a lot from someone when you spend time with them. And Howard was he was one of the best as a person and as a craps player. And so I'm going to dedicate the toss techniques for him. I mean, a lot of the shots that I've been showing off access are his, and he's the one who taught me. But dice magic is what he's known for. Um, I was gonna do the Dr. Z toss, but I I'm not going to. I mean, that thing it will take 3 hours just to kind of do the grip on Dr. Z. So, um, but I'll do the dice magic, and then we will for the talking. So you think you know craps? I'll talk about some of the nuggets that Howard passed on to me.
All right. Switching gears here while you compose yourself. Yes, Ed's responding to somebody. Ed said this, like he actually says this a little farther up here. He says what I'm putting in there this time, that this is going to be the last Brownwater bash. Now, he did say that last year, and there's number 3, but I know Ed, and he seems to be a little more serious. So if you'd like to get to one of these things, this is the year. You still have time. You have a week. May 16th through the 18th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not this weekend, next weekend. So make sure you're there. It's emotional.
Promise him some bourbon, and he'll say, "Yeah, we'll do a fourth one."
Yeah, and my good friends Adam and Brian here, they went down to Florida and actually had a session with Howard in December of 23. I thought it was last year, but I guess not, because you're right, he passed in June. So December of 23. Man, it's unbelievable how long just look at this year's gone by. But he says that Howard has some good things to say about you, so that's good. Clay knows Howard as well. Maybe we'll do some type of small tribute show there in June as well. You'll provide some information for me. Maybe we can get something up here. And I know a couple other YouTubers have already done it. I know Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters did a wonderful tribute after he passed. And if you haven't seen that, go to HCS's website and YouTube channel and check it out. It's a really good show on Howard. All right, Jay. So we're running down on this on tonight's show. I don't see any more questions. Let me make sure I got them all here. Yeah,
Are we actually gonna try and end on time this time?
No, we're already over time because you just said it was an hour. It was an hour.
We're already over
All
time.
right. But let's go ahead and last call for this is going to be a chance to win a $50 gift card and a chance to double it up by being here. If you want to double it up, you have to be in the chat and say double up. And you're guaranteeing at least a minimum 10% pledge of whatever you win, whether it's a 50 or the 100. You're going to be $5 or $10 to Mac Charity Fund, and I pass that along. This will be my fourth year, fifth year. Oh my gosh, my mind just slipped. Anyway, I know that I've donated from my channel to my subscribers, my viewers, and my members, 12,500 in that time period that I've contributed to the Craps for the Cure. This year, again, benefiting veterans moving on. John, I forgot that too. It's a veteran cause where we're actually preparing and trying to pay for a service dog for PTSD for a service member. And it's a great cause. We did it last year. Going to do it again this year. Hopefully you'll be there. Oh, I know what I was going to put up there. I was going to put this up here while I have the screen here. Did I clear that? Oh my gosh, I did clear it. Here it is. Yeah, here it is. John says that if we raise $50,000 this year, he's going to dance nude on a pole in a limo. No, I put the word nude in there, but he's going to dance on a pole in a limo live. He's going to stream it on YouTube live. I hope that's what he meant, because hope is alive when he's on the pole. But in any event, guys, that's coming up September 12th through the 14th in Las Vegas. Go over to CTG TV. Check John Procraps over there, and he'll give you more information as the time comes along. You can catch him. I know his time's changing in the morning, but over there on Casino Gaming TV YouTube channel.
He won't do it. You know why? He can't afford a limo.
Oh, well, he said you're paying for the limo if we hit 50K. It's one of those real stretch limos with a hot tub in it.
I'll pay him to stay out of the limo. How about that? Because that's one thing I don't want to see. Oh my God.
Gee, you're no fun. All right, let me go ahead and switch screens.
Can you imagine that spotlight on his bald head? It'd be like a disco ball.
Oh my gosh. Would you stop? All right, this is just a one-time winner only, $50 gift card with a chance to double it up. Currently 71 people watching. I only have 37 entries, so please put Brownwater Bash, all one word, Brownwater Bash. Probably, did I put that in here? Let me see if I got that up here again. It's all one. Oops, that's not it. Let me do this here. If I switch there, it should come up. There it goes. Basswater for the gift card. Brownwater Bash, all one word. Going to give it just a few seconds. And, oops, we don't want to see that either. We want to see not that. Oh, well. Somewhere along the line here it gets working. That's what happens when you do a live show. I'm the host, the talent, the producer, and G just keeps me working so much. Clay's saying yes, double up already. All right, so here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and call for the last call. I'll count it down in 3, 2, and 1. I said 1. Dan D. Dan, you are the winner of the $50 gift card. You got to be here to win it, and if you want to double it up, please put in there a double up or say, hey, yes, go ahead with the double up, and then we will roll it, waiting for Dan to pop in there. Dan D., if you're still listening with the YouTube lag here, I'm going to give you a few seconds. G, I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us today. Let me switch over to this screen. Sorry. I was waiting for Dan to punch something in there, and here we go. I appreciate you coming on again for the 5th month in a row. We have, So You Think You Know Craps coming up for the 5th month in a row, 2 weeks from tonight. And I'm looking forward to doing that show with you. Yes, he says double it up. So we'll go ahead and switch over in just 1 second. For all those that are out there, for everybody that's, I got a couple of emails. I got a Discord message today from my good friend Johnny Seiko. Go to my website, midatlanticcraps.com. Log into your back-end website. If you're not a member yet, you can join a member. I have a statement in there that's kind of talks about where I've been. And I appreciate all the comments and the communications for that. You guys are the best. And with that said, I'll have more on that coming up. Hopefully, good news, G. Good news next month. All right, let's go ahead and give this. I got to switch my screen around, G. And let's go ahead and do a double up. Let's see if we can get double up. He said he wanted to double it up. So we want him to go from 50 to 100. So here we go. Dan D is a $50 gift card winner. Let's see if he can double it up. Here we go. Round and round she goes. Where it stops, go. It doesn't look like that. Dan, you are a winner of the $50 gift card. What you need to do is go to midatlanticcraps.com. The center of the page, it says promotion tab. Hit the promotion tab. There's a blue button there that says claim my prize. Please put that information in there. With your contact information, please put your phone number and your email address so that we can talk about how we're going to settle up on that gift card. I appreciate you participating with that. So let's see. What more do you want to talk about tonight?
Now, I just want to thank everyone for watching. Jeff, thanks for hosting. This is your channel. I'm just a guest, but thanks for making me feel at home and, um, you know, pretty much almost giving me free reign on the shows and what we want to do and stuff like that. That's awesome. I just like to share the knowledge, freely. And I know some of these tosses may look for some people, and some other people may look interesting. Um, I will tell you, don't learn five, six, seven, eight, 10 different tosses unless you want to show other people how to do them. Stick to one, maybe two, and practice like crazy until you kind of like master the mechanics. Um, I've been doing this for a long time, and I practice these tosses because I need to show the mechanics. So, um, we got more tosses coming up in the year, and again, some may look goofy, some may look cool. Um, the only one I can take the blame for and I can talk about is the one that I just came up with. And so if you want to talk bad about that, we can talk bad about that. But all the other ones I picked up and learned. So, but appreciate everyone. All the nice comments that I've been getting on in email and even on the comments. And any comment you put down, I'll always answer. Getting a lot of emails, mostly about people wanting jackets. I don't know what to tell you, but again, we won't be. If it wasn't for you wanting this, we wouldn't be doing it. I got other things I could be doing on a Tuesday night. Um, but we're doing it because we love to do it for you. So appreciate everyone. You're the one that makes this happen.
Nope, I appreciate that. And the comments that are coming in, Jay, elaborate a little bit more on how you and I respond to every single comment that comes in on the video. So if you go back and watch this show later, or if you're watching it later, please put a comment and click that like button. G and I answer every single one. And then I'm getting ready to put G's email up here so that you can send him something if you have any questions. If I get it to work right. But G, go ahead and tell me you and I, we try to respond probably within maybe 12 to 24 hours. Each one of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. I mean, usually I either go and check every now and then just to see if there are comments, but a lot of times you get notified if there's a comment or something like that, and you ping me immediately, and I go look. So, but I'll tell you, I've had, from an email perspective, I've had one-on-one phone calls. Like, I'd give out my phone number, and people would call and we'd talk. Over a dozen people, over a dozen. I'm not going to name names because they may not want to be known. But if they're out here watching and they want to put it in the chat that they've spoke with me and I've helped them out, you know, I I I will spend time with you, and I will try and help you on the phone with whatever, whether it's toss, money management, betting, or anything. Um, I'll always make time for you viewers because you make time for us. Sitting here watching us for an hour and a half, or coming in from outside watching the video as a repeat, takes time and a lot. And I know some of you go back and watch it, stop and watch again because you want to see what you know what the toss looks like. So I anything you want to know, we're here, and I'll answer every comment, good, bad, or ugly. I'll answer every comment.
Yep. All right. So let's go ahead and call the show there, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We never know what to expect. You guys make the show. You make Jay and I keep doing the show. He keeps me doing the show. I keep doing the show because of you. You guys are awesome. We know that you have other things you could be doing on your Tuesday nights, especially other YouTube channels that you could be enjoying. But you spend the time with us, so we really do appreciate that. So with that said, G, are you ready to get the puck out of here, as in the on-off puck?
I'm turning the puck to off.
He's starting to puck off. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. 2 weeks from tonight, May 20th. Seems to me it may be a post-bash show. If not, we're supposed to be talking about something else, but G didn't mention it, but we'll see what he says in the next one, guys. If you're going to be going
And a
to
lot of
Biloxi,
you will see next week.
yes. And if you're going to be going to Biloxi, I look forward to seeing you there. I hope you come down and see us. It's never too late to get there. Gulfport has a small airport you can fly into if you're flying regional to regional. If you're flying some of the larger airports that don't go into Gulfport, New Orleans is just 90 minutes away. You can rent a car and drive in. And I've done that before, but I do thoroughly enjoy flying into Gulfport. Guys, as always, please, God bless each and every one of you. Be safe, play smart. We'll see you on the next one.